This is the Leo Climaco Podcast.
I want to know exactly what Paradox was and how did you fuse art and fashion and music all into one?
So when I moved to Atlanta after I went to the University of Georgia, and I studied abroad in Europe, and that's where I got the idea, is I wanted to always own my own business. I did not know it was going to be a bar. My degree's in architecture and design. But that is, at the time in Atlanta, it was booming. You know, in one of those nights, you're like, I'm going to open a nightclub.
Right.
It's the difference of the people who really do it. So the next day, got together with some people that I believed in as well and said, let's do this project.
How old were you?
I was 23.
You were very young.
Yeah, I was 23. And so
all that energy, all that drive.
All that energy, all that drive at that time, thinking you can conquer the world.
Yes.
And we didn't have things like...
You've done pretty well so far.
Well, thank you. And I'm not going to make it sound easy. We definitely, you had to go down to the city of Atlanta, figure out how to get a liquor license, got a lease, found a great space, and that's how we started that.
That's great. What did you do to get money for a startup that new, so young?
So we did have an investor, Mahesh, who I'm still good friends with today, and then I maxed out every credit card that I had at the time. So we were leasing.
The entrepreneur way.
Yeah, you have to put your own skin in the game, and you've got to have. And
100%.
I grew up middle class. There was no plan B or money to fall back on, and so I had to make this work. And I wasn't gonna. Failing was never an option, and failing is never an option. That's a motto I definitely live by.
I love that. So how did it go? How did Paradox work?
So it opened in 1999.
Okay.
And we started a Jermaine Dupri night on Tuesday nights, which was awesome. So we had a great, I love my 90s hip hop era. It was really cool. So we had that. And we also had...
Was Janet there?
She had been there before. We have Beyonce. I've got some great old pictures of everybody. Usher, Pink was discovered. Had one of our first concerts there where she was discovered by them. Then from So Deaf. That was really, really cool.
That is very
cool.
And
then Friday and Saturday we just 95.5 The Beat. It was all radio then, and so we would do just huge promotions all weekend long. And Atlanta was a great place to party, and still is. But definitely during that genre was very cool. So it gave me the validity when I traveled up to New York, and ventured into Coyote Ugly at the time and met Lil and was like, I want to do this in Atlanta. I want to do this. This is the coolest thing. So
how does it feel to be a medium, I guess, for all these artists to come and share their art?
So I am a collector of art myself, and I do love art. So going back to that, I wanted to showcase a different artist every month. So that's what we would do on Fridays, and introduce new artists and then show their art and keep it there for the month, and then people could purchase it.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Where did the name Coyote Ugly come from?
Well, the name Coyote Ugly came from when, you have a little much to drink at night, and you go home with someone, and a coyote will bite its own arm off out of a trap in order to live and get through it. So it's kind of, if you go home and you wake up and you're not next to someone so attractive, you'd rather bite your arm off than wake them up and sneak out. So that is where the name Coyote Ugly came from.
That's very cool. So fill in that gap between Paradox and the first Coyote Ugly.
Well, they did overlap.
Oh, they did?
So,
okay.
Yes. So I at that time, I had wanted to open Coyote Ugly and do my own thing. Paradox was still going great, which I was so fortunate. My partners were very supportive. But I knew that this is what I wanted to go into, because it was a female owner, Coyote Ugly girls who do like Devil Went Down to Georgia. And that was where my passion then and lied.
That's awesome.
And
you sold to them?
I did. So I ended up selling my shares to them. But again, was still involved, and it was a very, very fortunate, friendly exit. But most nightclubs, as we know, are a little more short-lived, especially in that area.
Right.
And I didn't own the building. So that was another thing that now I do, is I always make sure I own my buildings. So there's not the life shelf. If we're still doing well, we get to still keep going.
That's really the McDonald's model.
Correct.
Yeah,
so
they own the building.
Mm-hmm. So that is hence where the big side of a big aspect of me is owning the land, owning the building, and that's a really big deal in your business, which I give advice to people. If you're going to start anything, whether it's a hair salon or anything, you own the land, own the building.
That's
and it's
really
an investment.
Cool. Yeah, 100%.
You're paying your own landlord. I'm my own landlord. I'm just
And you can always leave and still have that building.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if everything went wrong today, I still walk around, buildings paid off, liquor licenses are paid off, and you're good to go.
Take me back to the grand opening of Coyote Ugly.
Okay.
How was that?
The one in Atlanta, it was great. So you have a girl tryout. So we had over 500 girls come to try out to be a coyote. So the movie then had just come out. So it was the big deal. Everybody wanted to be a coyote.
I love that movie.
Yeah, me too. It's a good, fun, like G-rated, John Goodman. You know, it's like a make you feel good movie.
Yes, 100%.
And so we had a huge tryout, had over 500 girls try out. And then we had 2 weeks of boot camp because they have to learn all the dances.
Okay.
And then we had a huge grand opening that night, which was just awesome. And that was in Atlanta in the year 2001.
Wow, 2001.
Yep.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, so there was one in New York at the time. And
I've been to that one.
Yep, and then it was Vegas and then Atlanta. So Atlanta was a third one to open, yes.
Very cool. Tell me, how did this movie come to be?
So the Jerry Bruckheimer, there was called GQ, the magazine, put a story out called The Muse. And Julia Roberts had just gone to the bar and taken her bra off. That's the stick. You don't show their boobs, but they encourage you to take off your bra while you're there. So she had just done that. So they wrote a story about it. And Jerry Bruckheimer had read the story and said, this will be a great, movie tagline. And went to Lil at the time and did a deal for the movie.
That's great. Does that taking off the bra still happen today?
It still does, yes.
That's great.
Yes, it does.
I'm actually very
You'll see a lot of bras up there.
Yeah, because you would think that in today's culture, that might not be so kosher, I guess.
Well, it's definitely some things have changed over the years, but again, it's a fun way to do it. It's not where you're taking off your shirt and your bra. It's you take it off here, and it's kind of like let loose. Let's have fun tonight. You don't have to be all captured in a bra and all of that fun stuff.
Stuck.
Yeah, all stuck. That's a good word for it. I was trying to be free. It's about being free and having a fun night, and it's just all about having a great time.
Got it. Were you in the movie? Were you a part of the movie?
No, I was not.
No?
But the movie is based on Lil, my partner, and it's based on us as the owners.
Got it.
Yes.
What was your level of involvement? Did they consult you?
So I had no. Lil was involved in that part, but I was busy doing my part of getting the bar open.
Got it.
Doing the build out, doing the fun stuff.
Working on
working on the build out down there with
things.
the wood and hammer and nails. I'm doing it myself. Yeah.
That's awesome. Hard hat.
Exactly. No, seriously, yes, for sure. You got to save money when you're young.
Sure.
You're doing all that work yourself, for sure.
I agree 100%. Yeah, you got to put in that labor.
Absolutely.
What was it like taking all that knowledge that you learned from Paradox, business-wise, and transferring that over to Coyote Ugly? How did that transfer for you?
Well, you're learning lessons every day. Whether it's promotions or dealing with staff, employees, things like that. So you just take that knowledge and continue to grow it and use it to make each day and each time better. Through each Coyote I've opened, I've learned how to do things differently, how to do things better, have a better credit card machine, a better cash register machine, how to run things better and all that.
How to hire better.
Exactly, hire better.
Pick better employees,
yes.
100%.
Still, like I said, I'm still learning every day and still figuring it out, and times change, but yes, you take each I guess mistake is a lesson learned, so.
For sure. There are no failures.
No.
Just,
life lessons.
Misfires.
Yeah, some misfires. You get some really good words. I'm going to have to use them. Yeah.